What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be talking about Cuckoo. So let's get into that. Hi, my name is Leo, and as I talk about movie, TV show, video game related, or just anything nerdy, you have come to the right place. And like I said, we are talking about Cuckoo. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Now, I was pretty excited for Cuckoo because it seems like most of the early buzz was pretty well regarded for this movie, as well as the trailer seemed very interesting, very intriguing, very creepy. So I was very excited to see what this movie was going to bring. It seemed to be pretty much like a psychological horror thriller type of movie that I would thoroughly enjoy, with some kind of more deeper meanings from what it seems like just based off of the trailers. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my thoughts of what I thought about Cuckoo. But before I get started, make sure to let me know what you thought about the movie in the comment section down below. Have you already seen it? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? What did you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, starting off with the pros, I do think the setup of this movie is pretty good, where we have this young actress, our main character, going to Germany with her father because seemingly a tragic event has happened and her mother has passed away, and now she has to go live with her father and her stepmother, from what it seems like, as they go to Germany to help a friend that they've known for a couple of years try to build another resort for him to kind of grow his business. And as you're starting to go through the movie, you start to see that things are kind of very sinister. Things are not all adding up. Everything seems a little off. You know, the towns look dead. There's people that seem to be sick and kind of don't have the cognitive abilities and are throwing up for no, particular reason. And it just, everything seems pretty odd. You even have like her main, or like her dad's like friend that tells her, after 10 o'clock, you have to go home. You cannot be out late at night. So there's just a lot of things that you start to uncover. So it does a very good job of setting up this very creepy town kind of vibe and feel, where you get pretty immersed into the town vibes, and how the creepiness kind of just overshadows everybody, and how everybody kind of knows that they shouldn't be out after a certain time, or they have to be very careful because of what's been going on within this little kind of small town in Germany. I do think that performances across the board are pretty well, especially our main actress, played by Hunter, I believe, and I thought they were kind of, I like their performance because it was pretty normal. Like they realized that things were not what they seemed to be. You even see in the trailer where one of the guys says something weird, and she's like, "See, that's a really fucking weird way to put it." So she kind of has like that common sense, and I like that about that character, that she has the common sense, but also kind of, it's hard for her to really realize what's going on because everything just seems to be so off, and you can't really make sense of it at first. There's so many different things that you have, these like really great sound design, and of like this heartbeat and this like really eerie noise in the background that kind of makes everything kind of shudder and shake, and it makes you kind of go back in time. And from what it looks like, they realize that they're resetting a couple of seconds back and are doing the same thing over and over and over again. And they start kind of losing their mind because they're doing the same thing, and so obviously you get the whole cuckoo, you're going crazy. So I do like the way that is all set up and how you start to uncover things, but there's still so much not being in the know and what's really going on, where you start to feel like you're going crazy. And I do like what these kind of evil presences kind of look like, where it's very normal, but there's just slight altercations to like their face or their eyes or their movement or the way they get presented on screen, where it makes them exponentially more kind of creepy than you would typically think. Like you have like this lady that you see from the trailers, and she looks for the most part normal. She's dressed normal, but you have these slight altercations in her face, the way her jaw opens up, and these reds in the eyes, and kind of like these kind of black veins coming out from the side of her face that just slightly alter it, where something so normal is so creepy. And I think it's very effective in that way, where it actually gives you some pretty effective scares and pretty effective imagery on screen to make this movie feel more creepy, in the mix of all of this kind of eerie vibe that you get within the entire town that we're kind of immersed into. And I think there's an idea here that is actually very well, in how you have these people, not to get into too much spoilers, but there's these people that have like sort of special abilities and things like that, that I think the idea of it sounds very good. So I do enjoy that. However, I don't think it got executed as good, which we'll get into the cons and stuff like that. But I do like the overall idea, the overall setup, the overall basis of what this movie is trying to do. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into my cons, and just kind of piggybacking off what I just said. The idea I do think is pretty solid. However, I don't think the execution is done as well, especially once you get into the later reveals of what is exactly going on within this kind of city in Germany, in the kind of mountains. I don't think it was that satisfying in my opinion. There's like an idea there that's very, very intriguing and interesting that I wish we explored a little further. I feel like it kind of gave you the information out of nowhere and didn't explore further of why this is happening, what is exactly going on. This movie for sure, 100% merits a second watch. I don't think, at least for me, maybe I had a pretty small brain that day. I don't think I understood what it was exactly trying to achieve on first viewing. This movie for sure definitely needs a second watch. But again, what I received and what I got, I don't think it was explained as well. I don't think we got enough of the backstory of what exactly is going on. It was kind of just dumped on us, and we kind of moved on to the next scene and forget about everything that we just explained. Let's go on to the scene where, we want to have sisterly love again, and we're trying to escape these two people that are kind of on both ends kind of crazy, which again falls into that whole vibe of being cuckoo, being crazy, and kind of losing your mind over certain things and being obsessed with certain ideas and a certain goal to achieve, which makes you kind of go crazy within your own mind. I think that's kind of a very underlining theme that's kind of going on here, where you're kind of, something happened where you're kind of obsessed and wanting to achieve a certain goal, which makes you go crazy in the long run. That's kind of how I felt about it, especially towards the end. But overall, this movie was fine. I do think the pacing was also a little off at certain points, where I do like the dialogue. I think the dialogue is fun, but there is certain aspects of it where it kind of becomes a little choppy, where this dialogue between two certain characters doesn't necessarily match up what happens in the next scene and where things kind of go. And so I think it kind of has a little bit of an off-put kind of pacing to it, where it's slow at times and certain steps do not fall in line with the next step that happens. And maybe that's deliberate to make you feel like you're watching nonsense and feeling crazy as a viewer itself, kind of feeling cuckoo as well. But from my viewing, I don't think it worked as well. There's a lot of great imagery, there's a lot of great shot choices and dialogue, and this was very artsy kind of movie, but I think the full-on execution wasn't done as great. And while I do think that this movie does a decent job having some sort of creepiness, some sort of scare factor to it, overall it was pretty dull when it comes to the horror aspect of it. It wasn't all out there like I thought it was going to be, like I thought the trailer kind of showed it. The trailer shows pretty much the best scares of this movie, unfortunately. So I was hoping for a little bit more on the horror side, but overall kind of fell flat with some decent scares here and there. But that's going to be all for this one, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about Cuckoo in the comment section down below. Did you guys enjoy? Did you guys not enjoy? Did you understand it or not understand it? Let me know what you guys thought in the comment sections. And if you guys like talking about movies, TV shows, or video game related, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.